Hello and welcome back to BI Publisher Basics and Beyond. In this chapter, we are going to look at some advanced features of RDF. So our objective is to touch on some advanced RDF concepts. So before we start, as always, a zip file is available for you to download right below the video. The video will have the necessary files required for this lab. So in this particular lab, we are going to use the same we are going to continue with the file that was generated in the previous lab. So if you look here, there is a file called, there's an RDF file called xxnn pg details. We would use this as our base, and we are going to build on this base. So I hope you've done the lab. If not, you can use this file. So let's look at some key terms. So as we discussed before, the data from the database, Oracle, in this case it's Oracle, will be extracted using the concurrent program. So concurrent request can be either an RDF, a PL SQL, or a Java concurrent program. The concurrent program would then extract the data, which is then connected to the template using the data definition. The output processor would take the data which is generated after the concurrent program and would merge it to the template, generating the output. So there are different data extraction methods, as we discussed in the previous labs. The top ones are the RDF based extraction and followed by the data template. We'll also touch on the PL SQL based and XML generation based XML. So in this chapter, we are going to continue to look at the RDF based, but then we are going to take a look at the advanced features. So what are we going to do in this lab? So we are going to take the XML format that we have, which is flat. We are going to make it as a hierarchical based. So this is primarily good for when you have a child and parent kind of reporting, like a header and child reports. So some of the concepts within RDFs are, groups. So you can have a query, but you can have the output in multiple sessions. So in this case, let's say I'm repeating the data, so I could create a separate group and put the data separately. The next is RDF substitution, where we are substituting the values from. So for example, if it's so we are using the placeholder to substitute values within the RDF. So I can have a report header and I can pass the values. We will look into those features coming in this example. Then you have multi-dimensional data where you have a master child query and multi-dimensional query. So I'm not going to touch this part because it's just this is a little bit complex. Maybe later on I can introduce a video that would generate a complex lab. So but the RDF provides that flexibility where you can have a master query and then you have multiple child queries to get the data that you need. So then you have the concept of XML hiding. So let's say you have certain fields which you don't want to show it in the output. So you can just right click and get the properties, and you would see that there is this field called exclude from XML output and say to no. You won't see that in the XML output. So let's do the lab. So before we do this lab, let me open the file, the Excel file that has the steps, and we can go through that. So if you look at this Excel sheet, you will have step-by-step instruction on how uh, to proceed with the lab. So let's go back to the so it's basically we are going to open the existing report, save the file as. Let's go through the screenshot so it's a little bit faster. So the first step we are going to do is we are going to open the of course we're going to open the report builder. Once you open the report builder, you will have this welcome screen. You're going to select open the existing report and click OK. So we are going to pick the lab that was created. So just pick the file that was created in the previous lab, or from the zip file that's provided. So once you have it, you click on File, Save As, save it as -2, or however you want to name it. I name it as -2. So right click on property. So right click on the data model, click on Report Editor. So you will have this page. So if you don't see this session, you go to View, select the tool palette. You would be able to see this palette. So our first goal is to add a placeholder column. So you click on, if you come down to the tool palette, you would see, if you see the fourth icon, it says placeholder column. You click, and you had to click here, and you click inside this empty box. So it's going to create a placeholder column called CP1. You can right click and edit properties. So I'm going to rename it. So I'm going to say change the characters. Exclude from XML output is no, or yes. So you can say keep it as no. You can play with this once you have the basics are complete. So our next goal is to create a trigger for this substitution field that we did. So you right click and click on PL SQL editor. Right click on this field and click on PL SQL editor. You're going to add this code in there. So this, you can see that the begin and end will already be there. Just type in the return statement. Click compile and close. At this, so before you do that, you make sure you connect to the database. You do you can connect to the database. Otherwise, it'll prompt you to connect. Let's go. We're going to create a new group. So I'm going to pull the execution method code, and I'm going to drag it over to the outside. I drag it outside above the concurrent application name. So I'm going to click on this execution method code and drag it out. So that would generate this new group. So I'm going to bring in the additional fields that I need to have in that group. So you can always rename the groups. So I can click on it, and I can rename the fields appropriately. So I'm going to add a new field within this group. So I'm going to click on this placeholder again and click here and click inside this box. So it's going to create a new field. So as the drill, right click and properties, you change the name, placeholder. Now right click and do a PL SQL editor. So we can so it's a simple formula. We're just going to return the sysdate. Now we're going to do the hide XML. If you want, you can click on properties and do hide XML if you want. Do a program. Once you're done, you go to program, compile all. You'll have a compile all. So once it's compiled, so let's move the file to the server. So make sure you migrate to the right location. So I'm going back. So I'm going to be a little bit lazy here. Um, I'm going to use the same concurrent program that I used before. I'm just going to change the execution file name because if you go to the previous lab, we did all those hard work. So if you want, you can go through the previous lab and redo the concurrent program definition. I'm just going to leverage the previous lab. All I'm going to do is change the uh, change the execution file name. So that way it's easy. So then once you have the lab, of course, by this time you have registered the concurrent program. You run the program, you would see the output. Now you can compare the output, and you would be able to see that you can see these additional features. So this concludes the advanced features. So we pretty much leverage the we pretty much leverage the existing report that we did before. If you want to do it everything again, you just there's this. I have two sheets here. One is just to it basically goes through and um, you can create the steps. There's an alternate step here, which is basically what basically simple step that we did. The key is to make sure the key is to make sure that the key is to make sure that you migrate to the folder location that is tied to this custom application. That concludes this chapter. If you have any questions, feel free to reach me out through the message box right below this video. I would be happy to help you out. Thank you and have a great day.